Perhaps you're familiar with the phrase, what keeps you up at night? And for me, it's about relationships. It's about feeling a sense of belonging and connection. And in fact, that's been my life's work for many years now. And literally, this keep being kept awake at night. I can remember 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, literally staring at the ceiling and feeling a profound sense of loss and a longing to be in deeper, more fulfilling, emotionally nourishing relationships. And also, at the same time, staring at the ceiling, somewhat frightened of having that work out because of the fear of the unknown, but also a dumbfounded feeling of like, I do not know what are exactly the skills to arrive at that. And then I'm sure you're familiar with it. If you're going to really start questioning yourself and reflecting on skills for a relationship, inevitably you're going to think about what you didn't get in your history, and it's gonna definitely connect to childhood and what we learned in our family systems and learned with our caregivers and our parents. And it's those old hurts that still influence our relationships today. I want to share with you, I am going myself through a reorganizing of my life's work, really, and thinking about what do I want the next 10 to 20 years to be. And it incorporates reflecting on what is my YouTube channel, what are the videos I've created in the past, and what videos am I creating today, and how do I organize that content so that it's more easily accessible and that I find you. I need to find not only, yes, the people from the past who I think it's going over 10 million views, and I receive comments regularly of people saying, where have you been? Or you're back. And I say, well, I am back. I've been back for a while, but the YouTube algorithm has changed, and my videos are not being distributed the way they once were. So that's the purpose and effort in this video. Say, hey, wait a minute. Hello, where are you people? Where are those who know my work and new people discovering me? And the goal is to create community. The goal is to come together and have a way to streamline these ideas and really hone in on how are we similar in our evolution and learning of relationship. So for me, I've identified 5 areas that are important that I want to share. The first is called finding yourself, and it links to losing yourself. So the gateway experience, what we call the problem, is that we lose ourselves in relationship. The solution, the outcome we're looking for is how do we find ourselves? This will require strengthening identity, but really understanding how does identity develop in the context of relationship and attachment and bonding. The next area of focus that I'm exploring and making sure that I include videos that I know those people who resonate with my work want to talk about is about obsessive looping mind, and we get stuck in preoccupied, anxious thinking and this idea of stay, go, stay, leave. And we need to resolve an ambivalence, which is come here, go away experience of relationship. A lot of doubt and uncertainty when it comes to trusting that relationship has longevity and that we can continue to practice openness, vulnerability, and intimacy. That's about finding clarity. The next area of focus of my videos that I want to share with you are about how we fear abandonment, and that because intimacy and vulnerability trigger the anxiety, the deepest source of that is feeling like the relationship is not reliable, the other person is not reliable, and we cannot really trust the bond that we've created. And I'm sure it doesn't take much to do a little reflection in your life, in your history, and say, well, we know that comes from, it's usually having some experience of an emotional neglect, of rejection, of abandonment, or betrayal, and the attachment bond was really severed or challenged or compromised. And if we experience this over a duration of time, what we would say developmentally, that we bring that into our current relationships today. And the deeper we go in intimacy and connection and closeness and love and caring, it seems to also activate and shine a brighter light on the areas of our insecurities. So fearing abandonment requires healing separation distress, which is about finding peace. It's the word ease. That's one of my most favorite words for a relationship, EASE, to have some ease in your relationship, because many of us know what it's like to have the opposite, which is an ongoing chronic anxiety. The next area of focus for the videos are about how we distrust vulnerability. This is looking at nervous system dysregulation, which means that we are out of sync with ourselves. And it's very easy to question and feel overwhelmed and flooded, maybe at times a sense of hyperarousal, a time of dissociation. It's those feelings of the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, which show up in relationship as forms of adaptive strategies to protect ourselves, but also can cut us off from the intimacy that we say that we want, or the closeness that we say that we want. And this is a practice of language, to really being able to understand what is happening when we get triggered. What is it? What is the experience of attachment dysregulation, and how do we communicate that all for ourselves, but also with those that we want to be in relationship with? And we need to make this matter of fact and ordinary and not a big deal, because many of us live behind the scenes, white knuckling, trying to hide and obscure and pretend that we're not triggered. And the invitation, I was going to say challenge, but really the invitation is to find a friend, a family member, someone that you're a partner, practicing partner relationship with, and really being able to expose that this happens to you in your nervous system, meaning that the anxiety and the fear take over, and it can be a struggle to manage vulnerability, and in fact that we distrust the vulnerability. So what we're looking for here is, through that language and being able to name what's happening, is that it will bring us more coming back into balance. Many of us spend our time in relationship in a state of imbalance. The last area to focus on is what I'm calling craving nourishment. And we know what it's like to go without nourishment. And if we are going to satiate, bring ourselves into a place of abundance and getting fed, getting that connection that we know that we need and we want, that's about skills. And that moves into the area of communication. Like, how do I not only name what's going on, but that I can start to negotiate and experiment with inviting the other person to join me and to offer, to ask for what I need, and also to find experiences and people who are able to collaborate and co-create the interactions that do fill us up. And ultimately what that's referred to as creating a sense of the bond that feels like we're attuned, we're in sync, and it's a relationship that feels secure and is thriving. So in order to do that, we are learning the skills to build emotional intimacy. So I'm continuing to create videos that are going to fall into these 5 pillars. The main 3 areas of headings that these 5 pillars fall under are emotional neglect, attachment trauma, and relationship heartbreak. And I'm creating playlists and videos that are going to speak to all of these 5 different pillars and areas of focus. Also, as part of building community and connecting to each other, I have many people who leave comments, happy that when I make a video and say that they want to support me, and I say, well, okay, yes, wonderful. You can join me. It's relatively new in the subscription membership here on YouTube. And there's 2 tiers. And I have certain videos being offered within each tier. And it is really a way to create a foundational community of people who support my work and value my work. And especially if you've benefited in the past, got value from my videos. I do know a number of people say they've listened to my videos for years. So if you'd like to deepen or become a benefactor of supporting this work in the next chapter, and my goal is to build a library, a video library that's much more structured and organized under these 5 pillars that I just explained right now. Please check out the subscription membership as well. So more videos to come, and I'm excited to reconnect with people who've known me for years. I'm also excited to meet new people who are just discovering my work. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support, and I will see you soon.